What's up, designers and non-designers? Welcome to my new video where I'm going to talk about some photographs for your profiles. So I have lots of people asking me on my DMs on Instagram, how do I create my photo pic? How do I create my profile picture? And this is a tutorial on how to create it. So the first thing that I recommend you is when you are trying to make yourself an audience on Instagram, I strongly recommend you to not use a logo. And why is that? Because if you are not a big company, there's no reason for you to use a logo. Even if you are like a team of 2 or 3, choose one of the people just to be on the front of the business and get the audience with their faces. And why is it? It's because people connect much easier with other people than with brands. And I tried to use my logo on the beginning because most of the times when I do client work, I don't work alone. I had many other friends and other designers that used to work with me. And one thing that I noticed is the day I changed my photo, my profile photo from my logo to a photo of my face with a fancy background, it was the day that everything started changing. Okay, that I made other kinds of changes in the same day, but I believe that this has a huge impact on how easily you are going to attract new audience and new people to follow you on Instagram and even here on YouTube. So the first thing, start showing yourself instead of using a company's name or a thing like this. And again, because people connect much easier with people than with companies. And you may be asking yourself, Lucas, are you using the same t-shirt of the last video? And my answer is yes. I didn't take a shower this full week. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm just recording 2 videos in a row because my schedule is very tight sometimes and it gets hard to record multiple videos, and I didn't think of changing the t-shirt before recording the next video. So I hope it's okay with you, but it's one big tip that I have for you right now is use your name on your account and use your face on your account. And another thing is try to make your photos stand out. Your profile pic should stand out a little bit. So you probably have been noticing a trend on Instagram and YouTube maybe. I don't know if this trend already reached YouTube, but this trend is to use colored backgrounds on your images with your face above it, maybe in black and white or just with your colored photo. I don't know, but I like to use black and white over a colored background. And I'm going to explain to you right now how to do it. The first thing that I need to tell you is a friend of mine that doesn't work with Photoshop or any other editing software. He told me that there are some free Android and iPhone apps that you can create this photo automatically, but I'm going to teach you a more free way where you can create this photo. And if you want to edit and to use like custom shapes or custom textures, you are going to be able to use it too. The first thing that I recommend you to do is to get Photoshop. I know that can be expensive, but if you are a graphic designer, you already have it, but use Photoshop. I'm going to teach you how to create this on Photoshop. First thing, open Photoshop. You can create a square composition. I recommend you to create it on 1080 by 1080. The size it's okay to work with Instagram, because after that, when you're going to post it, they're going to scale down your image, because otherwise it would like fill the complete page whenever you see a profile picture. So the size that they actually use normally goes from 50 by 50 to 180 by 180, depending on the situation. But you can create this in a bigger size. You can create it in a 1080 by 1080 canvas. And this is it. Create this file. Just use RGB as the color system because you're not going to print it. You are going to use it digitally. So use a 1080 by 1080, one artboard and RGB. And you can use it as a 300 ppi. I always recommend you doing it in a high res because it gives more information to Instagram to decrease, because they are always going to compress all the images that you upload, including the profile picture. And the more quality you give to the image, the less quality is going to lose when you upload to Instagram. And you're going to end up with something more or less like this right here. And then the first thing that you should do is choose a photo that you are going to use. And the best thing that I have to recommend to you when you are choosing your photo is choose a photo that shows yourself, show your truly self, because there's a thing I'm like on my page is making today the third month, because I'm recording this in the same day that I recorded the last video. There's a thing that has been bugging me for the last 3 months. My profile picture is just me like this. And this is not me, as you already noticed. I'm a very smiley person. I'm always smiling. I'm always trying to make some kind of jokes, although I know I'm not that funny, but I'm trying always to make people feel well, feel good, I'm always trying to make people happier, and I'm always trying to entertain people. Even when I'm teaching something, if you get into my courses on Skillshare, you are going to notice that one day my cam just stopped recording randomly. I didn't know why, but I noticed that the cam did stop the recording, and I replaced my face with a monkey's face, and I left the monkey until the end of that video. So I'm always trying to make some kind of funny things. I'm always trying to entertain people, and this is why I was so bored with this photo with myself like this. I'm using this tutorial just to give me a reason to change this photograph today. So I'm going to, in the day that I'm going to edit this video, I'm going to be changing my photograph just because I'm sick of it. I want a more smiley one, and a thing that says more about who I really am instead of just a serious guy with a shirt. So this person on my profile pic right now that you are seeing here, it's not me at all. So make sure that you choose a good photograph to make this. Next thing, you are going to cut the image, and I'm going to show you how you do it in 2 different ways, because I believe these ways are the best ways you can find. And the first way is to try to use the automatic cutting, the automatic object selection tool that Photoshop introduced. I believe it was on not on the last update, but on the update before. You can just use a square selection with this icon that you are going to see right here. When you select the image, they are probably going to cut you well if the contrast is enough, and you just create a mask. If you click on this button that you are seeing right now, here below the layer panel, if you are not seeing the layer panel, just click window and layers, and you're going to see this window right now. And I'm trying to do magic here because I'm actually not seeing anything that I'm saying to you right now. I'm just making everything in my head. So you just click window, layers, and you're going to see the layer panel with the selection made on this photo. As you're seeing right now, you click on this icon, and you are going to create a mask for your photo where you are going to be cut it from the background. And now, when I'm editing this video, I just realized that I forgot to tell you about the second method to cut yourself from the background. And for this reason, I will let you here with a monkey instead of my face, because this is how I feel right now. I feel as dumb as a monkey. And the second method you can use to cut yourself from the background is using the pen tool. I know many of you don't like the pen tool because it's a tool that you have to practice a little bit, because you have to master the perfect place for each one of the anchor points, and you also have to know how to use the handles. So I'm sorry for this, but this method will always work because it only depends on your skills with the pen tool. Just a quick tutorial on how to use the pen tool here. You click and you are going to create an anchor point, and the goal here is to draw a shape around your body here. And when you click, you are going to create a anchor point, and when you click and drag, you are going to create a handle for this anchor point that's going to control your curve. The right place to put the anchor points is a very important matter here, and what you are going to do is you are going to set one anchor point on each part of the curve, one on the beginning of the curve, another one on the middle of the curve, and the third one on the end of each one of the curves. This way we are going to create a shape around your face in this situation. After you create the complete shape, you are going to click up here on the mask, where you're going to isolate yourself from the background. This is it, and back to the video. The next thing is you create a new layer. In this layer, you use the texture or the color or the gradient or anything that you want for your background. Now you already have your photo over your background. You can use these tools to create the background or a solid color or a gradient color, and this is how you pick the color. You just see this thumbnail that is on your toolbar right now. You click on it, you select the color, and you fill the background color. Make sure your layer of your background is below the image of your face. Just make sure you remember this. Also, another thing that many people do is use your image as black and white, and to do this you just click on this button that is on the adjustment panel. If you don't see this panel here, the adjustment panel, you just click window and select adjustments, and you are going to see the adjustments panel where you are going to click in this icon right here. That is the icon to use the black and white adjustment. And if you feel this black and white automatically generated by Photoshop is a kind of off, you can adjust the settings here, the colors that you see, and you're probably going to end up with a good result of a great black and white. Now you already can post it if you want, but many people also like to create a kind of a white frame on the background of you, between the image of your face and the background. They like to create a thin white stroke around your face or around your image. So this is how you create it. What you're going to do to create this stroke around your face or around your image, if you don't want to post your face for some reason that I don't know. If you want to create this stroke around your face or around your image, you just click on this icon here, the effects icon, and you are going to click on stroke. And when you click on the stroke, you are going to see this drop down here, and this drop down is where you're going to select outside, because you don't want the stroke to be inside your image and covering your face. You want it to be on the background. So you're going to select outside. You probably will want to get your opacity at 100, but it's up to you. And you also can play with the size of the stroke that you want to create. And this is it. You're probably good to go. Just click in OK and you are good to go. Now you have to export this. And one tip for every single thing that you are doing for Instagram: never export JPEGs, because JPEGs loses lots and lots and lots of quality when you try to upload anything to Instagram. So what I recommend you to do is export it in PNG, and now just change it on Instagram. And this is it. This is it. It's easy, quick, and thank you for being here with me. I hope I helped you. Don't forget to subscribe and to drop a like and to share with all your friends that you think that should use this kind of photographs on their profile pics. And thank you for being with me. See you in the next video.